Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 62 of This Week in Geek. My name is Ren. We are back, and I am joined by my co-host, Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm great, man. I'm excited to be back. It feels like it's been forever, but it's
It
only been a
does. It
couple of
does.
weeks. You had
Yeah,
Venice, I was moving, and now we are
you are
here.
moving, and you are finally installed
Somewhat in,
fully.
yeah. I can't
Somewhat
show
in.
the camera all the way because if you can kind of
Mhm.
tell, it's a little bit of a mess right there. I ordered a shelf
Yeah.
thing that's not here yet. That's where all the hot toys will go.
Oh.
So I gotta wait
Oh,
for that to
okay.
come in. But yeah, and
Very
then
well.
I know maybe we'll get a question of like doing a room tour. I will. I can't do
Mhm.
anything until that shelf is here though, because I have like a
Yeah.
partnership deal on that shelf. So
Oh.
I literally cannot do anything until that shelf comes in.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'm excited, man. And we have a great topic for today. So
We do have a great topic. We have a topic full of discussion. But before we get to our main topic, in case you're new to this show, first of all, thank you for finding us however you're finding us, whether it's live on YouTube, on the replay, or on any of your podcast apps, be it Spotify, Apple TV, or anything. In case you're new to the show, we basically have three segments where we run through our weekly rankings. That's when me, Zach, and people in the live chat go through everything we watched this past week and rank it from worst to best. Then we go into our main topics. That's the topic on the thumbnail, on the title, and the topic you see on the community tab on the post for you to leave questions for the third and final segment of This Week in Geek, where we answer your questions. Obviously, we don't guarantee that we have time to answer all your questions, but if you want to guarantee your question is answered, you can support the show by going through the tip link in the description or using the super chat feature. Without any further ado, let me get started because I only have two things to rank. Obviously, I just came back from the Venice Film Festival, and there's a lot of things to rank in there, but I am working on a ranking video and still a ton of individual reviews for some films because unfortunately a lot of them just still don't have a lot of don't have trailers at all, or not even a lot of pictures. But I am working on some of them, such as Ava DuVernay's Origin in the Land of Saints and Sinners, which you also have to always have to say with an Irish accent, and a few others sprinkled in there. So stay tuned for those videos. So yesterday was my first like full day back because I came back. I arrived on Thursday evening, and yesterday I decided to catch up on some movies that were now out by the time I arrived. And so I started with my second place, my last place, The Nun 2. This is certifiably
it's the
in
best
every
movie of the
way
year.
better. It's the best
Best
movie of the
movie of
year.
the
It's the
year.
best sequel of the year. This is certifiably in every way better than the original. I like the characters more. The story is more well rounded. There's a level of intrigue, there's a level of atmosphere that just wasn't there. It's very well shot. Like it's up there with the
Michael
mainline
Chavez
Conjuring
is a.
movies.
I said this in my
Yeah.
review, and I'll talk about this. I didn't like Curse. I did like Conjuring 3,
I like
but
Curse.
his direction, and I always says he always has the shittiest scripts, but his direction is always
Yeah.
really good, whether it's in set pieces. I don't think his films are primarily scary, but it's his set
Hmm.
pieces that are very well done every
I agree.
single time. I was actually like sitting there. I'll talk about it too, but I was just like, okay, Michael, okay, go off. So yeah, keep going, man.
Yeah, he's very good. I think his set pieces very much deliver, but the rest of the film, and this is more a script issue, really lacks intensity. Where I felt the some of the kills are very gory,
Yeah,
and I'm like, ooh, nice, I like that. But then there's literally 3 kills in this entire film,
and a lot of
and that's
characters
it.
they could kill.
Yeah, and so like even the bitchy girls, they don't die, they don't get that comeuppance. I was
One of
waiting
them
for
did.
that, and it feels, yeah, but it's off screen, so it doesn't count. It's lazy. Um, she got killed by Dan Stevens' Beast from the Beauty and the Beast
Yeah,
remake.
yeah.
But yeah, even though I like the violence, the gore fest that is, they're so far and few in between each other that I'm like, that doesn't seem like to fit the rest of the film. But you know what? I'll take any victory I can get. An improvement is an improvement, and the Nun 2 was an improvement. Stay tuned for the mid credits, which is very confusing. It's very, oh, by the way,
Oh,
but yeah.
wait, there's a
Oh,
mid
you didn't stay?
Nah, dude, I was over it. I was
Okay.
done. Okay, can
Okay.
you like
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I'll tell you after the show. And in my number one, it's the Threequalizer, which is what they should have called this movie. Denzel Washington, this guy's fucking awesome. I love Denzel Washington, man.
I've never seen one of
His
these.
charisma. He's in.
Never
You
seen
never
a
seen
single I've
any
never
single
seen a
one of them?
single Equalizer.
Oh,
No.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, my grandparents are staying with us, and my grandpa
Okay.
asked me, did you see the Equalizer 3? I was like, no, they didn't do a press screen, but I've never seen one. He goes, I just love watching Denzel kick the shit out of people.
Yes.
Oh.
He'll probably love the third one because it's by far the most violent.
Yeah.
And it was very weird for me being back in London and having a movie where a strong, probably 70% of it is spoken in Italian. And so I just felt transported. Like, did I come back home or did I stay over? And the violence is fantastic. The violence is awesome. It is certainly better than Equalizer 2, which I really did not like. But it doesn't surpass the first one. I think it has a lot of pacing lulls. It has a lot of starts and stops throughout the story. And it doesn't really feel like it crescendos to anything. You watch all these sequences that are connected. The film has narratively, you see the escalation conceptually speaking, but it doesn't. The climax of this film doesn't feel like a climax. It's scary because you're watching Denzel Washington in monster mode, but it doesn't feel like a climax. And if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm saying. It doesn't like build up in pace, build up in intensity. Like the climax of this film, the way it unfolds, it's very slow. It's very, holy shit, Denzel Washington is kicking ass, but there's never a moment of uncertainty. Like, I think it takes a little bit away from the film that you're like, oh, he's gonna kill them all. There's never a moment where you think, oh, they might get the upper hand, they might no, this guy's in control. And so that takes a little bit of the tension away from me. But I still thought it was a good enough time, a solid 100 minutes or so at the cinema. And if it's the final one, fine. Let the man have his peace, because that's actually what the entire film is about. He just wants to be left alone in his new town of Altamonte near the Italian coast. So let the man be and enjoy his tea. All right. What you got, Zach?
All right. So, I mean, honestly, I can't talk about one of them. I mean, it's an Indian. I can basically only talk about The Nun. That's basically all I watch. I've been watching a lot of shows. There's one show I can't talk about yet because the embargo is very strict.
The one you finished?
Yes.
The one you finished and the one I started today.
Yes. Yes, very much so. It gets better, Ren. I promise you. The first episode, I was digging it, but I was feeling kind of the same.
I'm not disliking it. I'm just like, oh, okay.
That's how I was after the first one. I was like, oh, this is cool, and then it kept going. Cool enough. Yeah. So I watched that. I watched Daryl Dixon's show. I watched a lot. One Piece. I mean, it just goes on and on from there. So, basically, The Nun 2 is all I watched.
Did you watch? Are you talking? Did you watch the live action or did you get into the anime?
The live action.
When you say,
I used to watch the anime as a kid. I was
but when you say a lot of One Piece, I'm assuming there's not a lot of the live action one just yet.
You know, I don't usually binge shows anymore, Ren, but I binged the entire One Piece show in like one day. So I felt very accomplished on that. But The Nun 2, it's fine. I had some big problems with this movie. Necessarily, I walked out. I'm like, I'm done with these spinoffs. Just give me Ed and Lorraine Warren. That's all I care for at this point. Like, I don't give a shit about The Nun. I don't care about Annabelle. I don't care about any of these things. And a lot of that just comes down to the script. I don't think they know what they want to do. And I've noticed this with every spinoff. It's an endless series of jump scares. And jump scares that aren't that great. And I think my biggest issue with The Nun 2 is I really like lately how The Conjuring has tried to blend different genres. Like you get Annabelle Comes Home, and it's like Night at the Museum, but it sucks. Terrible. It's awful. And then you get like the first Nun film, which I didn't hate. I thought it was fine, but it's like a gothic adventure film, but it's fine. Like it's just okay. And then The Conjuring 3 was like a lawyer proceeding crime thing, which that was good. I like that one. But then this one tries to be like a murder mystery, but we as the audience already know who the murderer is. We already know who's possessed, especially if you've seen the first film. And even if you don't remember the first film, like me,
they completely recap it.
They recap it within the first 20 minutes, so then you instantly know. Like, dude, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wait, she's from the first one, I think. Unless I'm going crazy. And I'm like, oh, wait, he's from the first. Because I didn't know. I didn't see a single trailer for this. I didn't see a single poster. I had no idea how direct sequel this was. Most of these spinoffs, they're so separated.
The Annabelle ones certainly are.
Yeah, so you definitely you right away know what's going on. And then the other two nuns, as they're investigating this, you're like, come on, I wanted more development with them. I wanted more time with them. I think that's one thing that the Conjuring franchise and the producers have probably forgotten is that, yeah, we like the demons, we like the mythology, but the reason this series worked so well is because of Ed and Lorraine Warren. And if you can't give me characters to cheer about, because here's the thing, the first two Conjuring films, I used to think the first one was like terrifying. The second one is still same thing, but as I've gone back to watch those, I don't think they're as scary anymore. But I like watching them because of the characters. That's why I watch them. So
that's why
it's a double-edged sword. I looked it up. I couldn't wait. Which I like. That's cool. But it wouldn't have changed. It actually kind of would have made me more annoyed to have watched it. So I'm actually glad I didn't see it. It would have been like Morbius to me. Where I like just rolled my eyes at like what they were doing. But it's cool. I like that. I hope that's the direction they're gonna start going in. But bring James Wan back, please, or someone talented. I mean, Michael Chavez is good, but like we need good writers in here too. It's just not it. I'm over these spinoffs, and I actually think I'm done. Like if they come out with a Nun 3, which fun fact, did you know the first Nun is the highest grossing film in this entire franchise?
Yeah.
I
mean, because the setup for this demon in Conjuring 2 is so good. I was interested in a Nun movie.
Well, which is wild to me that it is a complete reshoot. Like, guys, this is a good example of how reshoots can help. The Nun was not originally in that film. It was a different demon. So, I don't know. It was
the Goat Man.
But, yeah. But basically, yeah, the Nun 2 is fine. I didn't hate it, nor did I love it.
It's mid.
Yeah, it's very mid. I think it's a little bit better than the first one, just a little bit, mostly because of the set pieces in the third.
I think it's better than the first one in every way, but that speaks more so to how bad the first one is.
Yeah, so
not necessarily to the quality of this.
And guys, give Michael Chavez a good script, please, like a great one.
Yeah.
Like I think he could direct the shit out of a movie, and I would actually like to see him. Oh, dude, I also finally saw the trailer for The Exorcist when I went and saw this.
Oh,
that looks awful.
Ed?
That looks so bad. That and I don't even like the original one, but it looks bad. I saw Saw.
They are playing it in theaters. They are playing it in theaters, baby. It's coming back. And they played it at Venice too.
Yeah,
but
I just wanted to say something.
But I didn't have the chance to go see it.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm done. I'm over it.
All right, everyone. Let's check out your weekly rankings, starting with Diminisian Scott, and let me zoom in. Number 5, Things. I don't know what that is. 5 things. Oh, okay. Never mind. Number 5, Batman Forever. Number 4, The Shallows. Number 3, Ahsoka Episode 3. Number 2, Chicago Season 2. And number 1, Ahsoka Episode 4. Eric Thorpe reviews. Number 1, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 2, Public Enemy's underrated movie. I was talking about throughout Venice, we were having discussions about Michael Mann because we had Ferrari premiere there. And I brought up Public Enemies as an underrated Michael Mann film. And I had one person agree with me. So I'm just happy I'm not alone anymore. Number 3, Pupil. Number 4, Ahsoka, all the episodes. Number 5, The Equalizer. Number 6, The Bad Batch. Number 7, Talladega Nights. Number 8, Blue Beetle. And number 9, Equalizer 2. I don't know how you put Bad Batch in front of Talladega Nights or Blue Beetle. But hey, that's just me. Jack Alexander, number 3, Blue Beetle, number 2, Gran Turismo, and number 1, Bottoms, which I don't get until I don't know when. All I know is that over here it's gonna be a Prime Video release, so not a theater.
It was supposed to be a Prime Video release out here too, and then they moved it to theaters.
Interesting.
So
well, it's not gonna be the best comedy of the year anyway, so I don't care. All right, because I've seen the best comedy of the year, and none of you have. So stay tuned for when it comes out and don't let Hitman slip you by. All right, everyone. With that out of the way, let's talk about Ahsoka, because everyone's talking about that cameo at the end of this week's episode, the midpoint of the series.
What cameo?
You don't know which cameo? It was Anakin Skywalker showed up.
Oh, interesting. New character. Muff talking. I would really wanted Muff Tack to show up.
Muff Tack. I wanted Gloop shit. So, at the end of this week's episode, after Ahsoka falls into the ocean at the hands of Baylan Skoll, played by the wonderful Ray Stevens, God rest his soul, she wakes up in the world between worlds, and she hears the words, "Hello, Snips," which coming from behind her, and there stands Anakin Skywalker before the screen cuts to black, and we hear the Darth Vader theme song, which is a very important detail that many people out there theorizing about what this is and what this means, like, are clearly forgetting of that piece of score playing in the background. And now, after that major cliffhanger, coming into the second half of the series, Dave Filoni, Disney, Lucasfilm, they are screening the 51 minutes long episode 5 of the series in theaters. They are doing it in the States. They are doing it over here. I have my tickets. I am
Arizona.
going. Ah, shit.
So
you have no
what
chance?
time is yours?
Not in LA?
No,
mine is at midnight. So it's on the following day already. But if it starts on time, which means it ends on time, it will end right before 40-ish minutes, 50, half an hour, let's say, before it hits Disney Plus.
Okay, interesting. Because out here, it premieres an hour after. Like, if I were to go one of those, it premieres an hour after.
After it's already on Disney Plus?
Uh-huh. Because it premieres at 6 here,
stupid.
at my time at least. And then it's 7, like when I was looking, it was like 7 or 8 LA time. I think the East Coast might get it early. But yeah, everything else
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's dumb. But yeah, I'm very excited because I'm loving this show so far. Even outside that cameo, I thought this was an excellent episode of the series. In a show that so far, I am absolutely loving every episode. Even episode 3, which was definitely the shortest, was an episode that was very streamlined and gave us exactly one half character relationship dynamics and another half just massive action set piece, a dogfight through space. But this show keeps on surprising me, like where it's going, and it's doing very much the Dave Filoni thing, which is kind of what's keeping me so interested. Zach, what are your thoughts on the show thus far? What did you think about that Anakin Skywalker cliffhanger? And what do you think about this decision of having episode 5 in theaters? Yeah. I'm going to still be here, but I need to step out of screen for a quick second.
You're all good. I am 1000% on board. Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character of all time, so I'm very biased when it comes down to her and her storyline. And going to the show, I was very disappointed, or not very disappointed, very nervous because I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Mando season 3. I wasn't a fan of Book of Boba Fett. There was things I liked in both of those, but I was disappointed overall. And I really wanted them to come back with something great. And then we get the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and I'm like, okay, I'm fucking in love with this. It's like a samurai story. I'm loving how they're doing it. I love that it's taking its time. There's no
But it's
filler.
focused.
It's focused, and again, it's slower paced, but that's okay. This is definitely a show that is for people who have grown up on Rebels. You know, the kids who grew up
Right.
on Rebels are now adults, and if adults had watched Rebels, then they are also, you know, older. And so I love that. Then you get episode 3, and it's the shortest, but I still really dug it. Great action scene. I'm like, this is awesome. We're progressing the story. Next week's gonna be great. And I'm watching this new episode, and I'm like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. And I was happy they didn't end it in a way where I was like, oh, we're supposed to just guess that she died. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It pans over. That was a great shot, the way that it went over and you see the ocean, then it just pans to her
Yeah.
face. And the second I saw that, I'm like, we're going to the world between worlds. And I have my full reaction on my second channel of me watching it, but I kept sitting there. I was like, oh, we're in the world between worlds. She's seeing Anakin. She's 1000% going to see Anakin. I'm sitting there. And long and behold, what happened? Anakin Skywalker shows up. And I fucking cried. I cried because it is kind of a full circle thing. Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Anakin and Ahsoka
Meeting in
together.
live action. It's
Meeting
a
in live
special
action,
kind of thing.
which is a
Yeah.
nice little parallel because, you know, the last time they did see technically each other, not in Rebels, but in Clone Wars, it's the same shot, just a different view.
Yeah.
Anakin and Ahsoka. And it's a nice parallel because then, of course, you get Ashley Eckerson, and I think his name's
Eckstein.
Matt Eckstein. And then what's the Anakin's name is Matt
Lanter.
Yeah. And you get that great parallel. And to finally have that, it's fantastic. Now, I can't talk a lot about theories for next week because I actually know a lot next week. At least I'm assuming it happens next week's episode. And the only reason is because I thought it was going to happen like later in the season. I knew we were going to the world between worlds. I think we all kind of assumed that was going to happen if you'd watch Rebels.
We had to. I mean, from the trailers, I thought that when she fights Balin, when they're like in the middle of the star map,
I thought that was the world between worlds too.
Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. But because when I saw that, I was like, oh, that looks like the world between worlds. That must be, maybe she goes back a second time, because I knew that she went, and I know certain things that are going to happen.
Okay.
I didn't know it was gonna do it like that. But I mean, if you want to know, I'll talk to you afterwards. But it's
maybe I'll think about it.
What they're doing next week. If what the person told me is happening, it's probably some of the coolest shit I've ever heard or that we're ever gonna see in Star Wars. Like, I can see why they're putting it in theaters, because the geekiness that we got from just that one moment and from the lightsaber duels in here, I think only proved that Star Wars is safe in Dave Filoni's hands. I was very hesitant for him directing a movie, to be honest. If after this episode, I know he didn't direct it, but he did write it. His thematics of Star Wars are so strong. And if next week's episode is everything that I'm expecting it to be,
which he is directing,
yes, I'll be okay with him directing a Star Wars movie, 1000%. And I'll even say this. If next week's episode's great, and then the next few episodes are also great, because we don't want to just peak in the mid-season. We want the rest of the season to keep going up. This will be my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done. Ever.
Big words.
Now, again, I'm a huge Ahsoka fan, so take that as what you will. Sure. Clone Wars, the final 4 episodes, like, if we're including that with the movies, that would be my favorite thing ever. But I mean, here we are, man. We're gonna see if it all pans out right.
Yeah. So, now, I also want to put on the table, all things being fair, if there are any worries you have, because I will tell you what, I'm not worried just yet. But at the latest, I need Thrawn to come back at the end of next week's episode. Because Next week, we're already in the back half. It's the start of the back half of the series. And if they take one more episode to bring Thrawn back at all, even if he comes back in the beginning of episode 6, I think I'm going to be left wanting in terms of the quantity of Thrawn that I get in this story. Because this story from the beginning, like, we've known, if we just look at the stories as they are, what the stories are about, we've been waiting for Thrawn for 2 years now, 3 years, ever since Mandalorian Season 2. And now we're halfway through the show where he's the main bad guy. We know he's the main bad guy. And he's not here yet, halfway through. So, to clarify, I'm going to repeat. I'm not worried just yet. I don't have an issue with it just yet. But I think next week is their last chance to bring him back and fulfill that promise of Thrawn actually having an impact, at least in the back half of the series. Optimal scenario, I would have brought him back this week. And it's the midpoint. It's episode 4.
I would have brought him back.
You bring him back at the very end, and that's how you raise the stakes, and the story structure is all there for you to do it.
Now,
so
I think you're right. Now, I don't know this. I don't know when he comes in. I just know that he's in the backer half of the season. I would not be shook if he is at the end of this next episode. Like, I feel like this episode's, 51 minutes? So that's like about 45, 44 minutes long with credits.
47, I would say.
Yeah. About 40 minutes of this, I think, is just literally all Ahsoka. Just all Ahsoka. With probably Anakin and doing whatever they do. Explaining the world between worlds to people who don't know who it is because they didn't watch Rebels, because they're going to have to go over that. Maybe giving more details for what it is. Seeing, because if you've watched Rebels, you know that they can see multiple different things and all that. That's my guess.
Which I'm going to ask you about. I'm going to ask you about certain things.
And then at the very end of the episode, I think that's where we see Thrawn. I think we see them arrive to Thrawn, or at least Thrawn's presence. I think, like, whether we see...
I think that shot we've seen in the trailer is what happens.
Yeah. And then, again, because what have they done really well so far? Every episode ends in a cliffhanger, in a sense, where it makes you want to watch that next episode. The first episode maybe had a smaller one, but it was Sabine going up to the mural, right? I'm not blanking.
No, the first episode is her being stabbed. And
okay, her being stabbed. The second one's with the mural telling Ahsoka, I want to be trained, blah, blah, blah. The third one was them stuck on the planet, and then Balin saying, go after them, which Ray Stevenson's, man, his presence is just
so good.
Oozing with greatness.
What a loss.
This week's episode was, of course, the Anakin thing. Episode 5,
Banana.
I mean, Thrawn would be the thing to end it with.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very exciting. I've heard some things about what they're doing with Thrawn that I think is super fucking cool. Super fucking cool. And I'm happy that what they're doing, because Thrawn is not another Moff, Gideon, Tarkin, Vader. He
has his own thing in mind.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's cool, because us as Rebels fans and us who have read the books know so much about Thrawn and know what.
And if you've read the books, you know the only thing that held him back was the fact that Palpatine was there.
Yeah.
Right now Palpatine is not.
Yeah.
Well, and we know that somehow he returns eventually, but still.
Yeah, and I think we've always known that Thrawn is someone who is not afraid to use everything to his capacity. Where, like, Palpatine, I feel like Palpatine was very much a dictatorship of some sorts, where it was like, we're going to use this and that's it. Like, Vader, stormtroopers, that's it. Where Thrawn's like, there's this very rare weapon in the farther reaches of the galaxy that I will use. I don't care if it kills us all. I'll fucking use it.
Thrawn is a scholar. He's a philosopher.
Yeah.
He respects.
He knows everything about the galaxy
and studies them. He uses cultures against themselves.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be so great to hear Lars Mikkelsen's voice again.
Yes,
because when you were at Star Wars Celebration, did in the trailer or anything they show for Thrawn? Did he talk?
No. The trailer, he doesn't. The only. Well, there were some things reordered. There was maybe 3, maybe 4 like new shots, but the difference in Thrawn itself was that we not only got that back shot of the back of his head, but we got that reveal that you got in the second trailer. That's
Okay.
it. He didn't talk or anything.
Okay. I want to ask you,
yeah.
when do you think we see Ezra? Because I feel like Ezra's not with Thrawn anymore.
No, he's not with Thrawn. So if Thrawn comes back next week, I think there's a good chance Ezra comes back in episode 6, but I would maybe put it on episode 7.
That's what I was thinking. And
If
then,
I was to bet.
because then we only get episode 8, which will
8.
end it. And then can you guys please just end the fucking strikes so we don't have to wait forever for a season 2?
Please.
Um,
Please. I'm sure Filoni himself already has like a treatment for it, but
yeah,
fucking pay
because
your
there
writers and
were
actors.
some rumors going around that it was already in like pre-production before the strikes.
I
were,
wouldn't
like,
be surprised.
wanting to get through this.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, in regards to next week, Zach, let's quickly go through this because we're in the world between worlds. We're going to spend a lot of time in it. And the first thing I think we need to figure out is why did the Vader theme play? What are your theories about that? Or do you know and can't get into it?
I can't say.
Okay,
I have because
say.
of what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say because of what I know, because I can only theorize and point me to one direction.
Okay.
So I won't say.
So, but I will ask you, and you feel free to answer. Feel free to answer how you see fit. If you can't answer, just say you can't answer. But I was talking with someone, and we were talking about the Vader theme playing. And this person came to me and he's like, "Oh, I think he's just a ghost, a Force ghost." And I'm like, "That makes no sense. Because if he's just a Force ghost, that's not the world between worlds, and it would make no sense for the Vader theme to play." And this person said, "Oh, I think it's just a nod." And I'm like, that's so fucking lame if they did that as just a nod.
Yeah.
So can you tell if it is just a nod or not?
It's not just a nod.
Okay, thank you. Finally. Okay. All right, here's my theory. I think the Vader theme plays. By the way, it's not my theory. I saw this, and I saw a lot of theories. This is the one that I don't think it's like 100% this. This is exactly it. But I think this falls very much in line with what I think they will eventually, how it will eventually unfold. You don't need to say anything, Zach. I'm just going to share with everyone watching that this is my theory. I think the Anakin Ahsoka sees has already fallen to the dark side, and they'll duel next week. It isn't a Force ghost. This is Anakin post-fall, pre-burn, and he stumbled onto the world between worlds somehow. Which I also think, like, not gonna lie to you guys, I don't know how much I like that this Anakin or Anakin at all has found the world between worlds, but this is the thing that ties the most threads together to leave it the least contradictory possible, even though there is enough contradiction in there. Like, I don't know that I buy that Anakin ever made it to the world between worlds before dying. Unless this is a Darth Vader, and he is assuming the form of Anakin Skywalker, but this is a Vader like later in life, in between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, or something like that. Maybe it's not even Anakin, and it's Palpatine who somehow returned and has taken Anakin's form. So yeah, those are a few of my theories. All right, Zach. I also don't know if you can answer this, but if you can't, I wanna ask for your thoughts. Do we see Kanan? Do we see Freddie Prinze Jr. in one of the
I don't know that. We did see a photo of him on Hera's.
We did
not
but,
him,
but
it's
too
Kanan.
far. It's too far
blurry.
to like tell if it is him.
Yeah.
Same with Ezra. Yeah. Like the Ezra we've seen in the Holocron, it's only like a wide shot, and you can tell the actor they cast was just similar looking enough to the Ezra from Rebels, not necessarily to how he's going to look now. And maybe it's the same actor and they'll age him up or something, but that's clearly an actor cast to look like Ezra, young Ezra from the animated series.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think we see Kanan. And I only say that because of when I watch interviews with Freddie Prinze, he does not want to come back as Kanan. Like, he's just like very like even in live action, like he's very much living that retired life. Doesn't really want, like he has 2 kids. Like it just seems like that's not something he would be wanting to do. Not saying that we're not going to see it eventually. I would, because we're allowed to talk any spoilers, right, for this series so far.
So far, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, when Jason said, "I want to be a Jedi," who the fuck's going to train him? Ezra. Ezra's going to train him.
Or Ahsoka.
Or Ahsoka. Or both. Or both.
Or both, yeah.
But 1000% Jason will become a Jedi. And
I had an idea, but
really? You want to say it or no?
I want to say it's not a spoiler because I don't know anything, but Rey Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he's dead by the time the sequel trilogy comes around. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
We know Ahsoka is dead.
Dave Filoni said she's not.
Well, Dave Filoni is a bullshitter because if she's speaking to Rey with all those voices, then she has to be dead.
That's what I thought.
That's the thing.
So.
That's what the Force in the Diet of the Force in the sequel series says. Rey was chosen and had all those powers because every single other Jedi, apart from Luke Skywalker until the Last Jedi, is dead. That's the whole thing. So I'm kind of pissed if Ahsoka is not. I love Ahsoka. I'm not like, I hate this character. She has to die. No. But according to the story they've told, the canon they've established, Ahsoka, by the time that comes around, has to die.
We'll see. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how I feel on it. Man. I don't know how I feel on it. I'm just,
all right, everyone.
I never want her to die.
And that does it. That does it for our main... Well, no one's ever really gone, Zach. She'll be a Force ghost.
That's true.
So with that out of the way, let's move on. Let's move on to your questions. And do you want to get us started? Because I need to check something real quick.
I'm going to pull it up right now. So
yeah,
give me 1
Go ahead
second.
and pull it up. And I need to check something. And when you can, start us off.
All right. Good to go. Okay. I will start us off. Lady Aaron asks, oh, this is for you. So Ren, how was the Venice Film Festival? Did you have a great time?
For some reason.
These are all for you.
Talk a little bit. Hello.
Well, the first 4 questions are all for you, so I can't even answer them.
Okay.
So, Ren, how was the Venice Film Festival?
It was very good.
Was it better than last year?
In terms of lineup, going in, I would say no. There were just a lot more movies that I was already excited, like even before they were announced. Like, oh, I want to see this movie. And then they were announced for Venice. So I'm like, oh, all these movies I'm excited for are coming to Venice. I would say this one had the most surprises, per se. I did watch more movies this year. Venice was really fun. It's a beautiful city. And I think I said last year, I'll say it again. Beautiful city. Love being there for like this week and a half. Would never in a million years live there. But spend time with friends, talking movies, watching movies, discussing movies, getting drinks, getting amazing food.
What's better, Venice or London Film Festival? And don't just say London because you live there.
Venice is the more important festival. London is the better festival, just because.
Does London?
And I'm sorry,
most of the films from there. I feel like they do, right? Okay,
we get most of Venice, most of TIFF, because TIFF already has a lot from Venice, and then you combine a lot of the
and then you get a couple of different ones. Like I think Chicken Run's premiering there, right?
Chicken Run, but Chicken Run is a British film. Of course, it's premiering here. It has to, right?
It's hard, man.
And then it. Look, you said don't say London because you live here. That's one of the things that makes it better. I live here. I don't need to spend as much money as I do going to Venice.
I don't blame you. I
can watch a lot more movies here, and I get to spend time with a lot more people that I know.
Because every film festival is so different, and I'm always curious on this. So like at Sundance, it's like sometimes you'd have to like hike a mile, not even a mile, you could take an Uber, but like to a different location. How does Venice and South by Southwest was kind of the same way. How how's Venice and London? Is it kind of close? All the theaters are close together. Are you hiking to get a far distance for some of the
London,
films?
they're all very close together. They're all like in that
That's good.
main square in downtown that everyone knows. You'll have a screen here or there, like a little bit farther away, but those are more isolated ones where you don't have to necessarily rush right after to get to another one. Venice, they're all very close to, because specifically in Venice, if you're staying at Venice, you have to get a boat from Venice, and you go to the little island called the Lido, and that's where all the theaters are.
So do people not stay on the Lido?
Each other?
Or is it just super expensive? No.
It's going to be super expensive. But if you're going to the festival, if you're getting air accreditation, they give you a free ticket for the boat. You don't have to pay for the boat because you're obligated to take the boat. Otherwise, you can't make it.
How long does the boat take to get across?
It's 20 minutes or so, give or take.
That's cool.
But then, like, if you have a movie at 8:30 in the morning and you don't get the 7 a.m. or 7:15 boat, you're going to cut it very close and maybe even miss a little bit of the beginning of the film.
Interesting.
So when I'm at Venice, I always wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Next
wake-ups.
question, Lady Erin asks for you. She says she's a little jealous of you meeting Damien Chazelle. So how was meeting the legendary Damien Chazelle? Can you tell us everything that happened?
There is not much to tell. So it was the day of the killer. We sat down for the killer, and then I was staying with 3 people this year. I was staying with Luke Hearfield. I was staying with MSB, channel member MSB. That's why he stayed with. No, I'm kidding. And then Ben, who writes for Discussing Film. We were all staying together, and then Manuel, he was sitting like a little bit to my right, and he's like, "Holy shit!" In our WhatsApp chat, he's like, "Oh my god, Damien Chazelle is sitting right in front of me," and I'm like immediately, "Oh my god, stop him after the film, because I need that picture or my life will not be complete." And so I paid 1,000% attention to the killer, but then in the back of my mind, I was like, as soon as the credits started, clap and all that, applause, and then look for Damien Chazelle. And as I was coming down, because I was in the back of the theater, as I was coming down to take the exit, I saw him right in front of me going to the left, and I'm like, all right, let's go after him. And I was staying right after him. I kept like pace with him, never lost sight. But he was already like, there was a guy already, someone who was attending the festival as well. I believe Espresso, because he had a badge. And he was already chatting him up. And I'm like, all right, just stay here, stay close, but let them finish the conversation. And as soon as the guy like takes a selfie of them, Damien starts walking away. And I'm like, Damien, sorry, can we take a picture real quick? And he kindly came back. We took the picture that I posted online. And then I thanked him. He said there was no problem. I shook his hand and I said, thank you for all your work. And he walked away. And I told him to enjoy the festival. So that was it. There was not like a conversation. There was no time for it. He was a busy man. He was the director, the principal of the jury at Venice. So not really much to tell. Just that whole adventure from inside the theater to right outside, to like grabbing that opportunity that the universe drops in front of you to say, hey, I don't get a lot of these opportunities. Who knows when's the next time I will see Damien Chazelle, but I'm taking it. It's right here. I'm not wasting it. At the very least, I'm going to ask if you wouldn't mind coming back for a picture. He didn't. He was very kind in coming back. And so I got a picture with one of my favorite directors. That's it.
He's burying the lead. They're actually going to write and direct and produce a film together all about Ren's life now. So.
Yeah, he's gonna produce. I have no money to produce a movie.
I love it. It was super cool, man. All right, next one you got. This one I can actually answer. So Lady Erin also a little over a week ago saw My Neighbor Totoro for the first time ever, and I thought it was a great movie. Is My Neighbor Totoro one of your favorite Studio Ghiblis, or one of your least favorites, and why?
You want to start us off? You haven't necessarily yet.
I've only seen this movie twice, but I just vividly remember just being charmed and delighted by it, which can be said for a lot of Studio Ghibli films and Hayao Miyazaki movies. Some stay with me more. Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away. But films like My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service are films that just absolutely delight you to no end.
Kiki's Delivery Service is so fucking good, man.
Yeah, it's very underrated. I don't think a lot of I
Yeah,
know a lot of people talk about it, but like the mainstream of people who are into Studio Ghibli don't ever talk about it. So
yeah,
My Neighbor Totoro is fantastic. So I love this film. It's just a delightful movie that it's comfort. It's comfort food. It's a
yeah.
comfort film.
It's very comforting.
Yep.
I really like My Neighbor Totoro. I'm jealous that you got to watch it for the first time. It's not my favorite, but it is up there. It's got to be in the top
Hmm.
10. At the very least, it's
Top
got to
five
be
for
in the
me.
top 10, if not top 5. I would have to think about it. I just don't want to say that it is there. But I might. Let me check if I have a Ghibli ranking in my letterbox. Because the best one is Princess Mononoke, 100%. Spirited Away is up there. When Marnie Was There is probably my number 3. Howl's Moving Castle is one I 100% do not love as many as others, but I do love it. Um, yeah, I actually think I don't have a Ghibli ranking in my letterbox. So yeah, I still have to do one then. All right, I have the questions now, so I will get us to the next one. My neighbor Totoro. Lydia, what are some video games or video game moments that made you go on an emotional roller coaster and made you extremely emotional? Um, Mine for recently is Xenoblade Chronicles for the end of chapter 5 and beginning of chapter 6. Uh, it's The Last of Us. Last of Us Part 2 specifically. Without spoiling anything, because the show is coming out, so I'm not going to spoil anything in case they most likely recreate this moment. But the porch scene. The porch scene in The Last of Us Part 2 is soul crushing. It will destroy you completely. Another one as well is the ending of The Last Guardian. If you have not played The Last Guardian, it is fabulous. It is such a good game from the same creators of Shadow of the Colossus. Um, I don't know that it is a better game overall, but it is a more emotional game than Shadow of the Colossus. Um, so yeah, those are the two for me. Zach?
There's quite a few. You mentioned The Last of Us, so I'll just start off with that. The first game's an emotional roller coaster, but the second game just fucking destroys you. Every
Yeah.
single time you're like, "Oh, that was the moment I was gonna." Nope, nope. There's more.
No, there's more.
Um, the way
No
that
way.
entire
There's
story
more.
is told is so beautifully, and it's crazy because I do think they're gonna change, not considerably a lot, but I think they're gonna change how the story's told for the show.
Structurally, yeah.
Yeah, which I can see making sense, but it's that there's a final part, and Ren, you know which one I'm talking about. There's a final scene between two characters that I don't know how you get that same emotion if you restructure the entire
Yeah.
game
I
story.
guess it depends how much you restructure.
Yeah.
I think there's certainly some things you can move around a little bit, but you cannot change it to the point where, oh, let's just tell it linearly.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think that
agree.
works.
You can't do that. So I'm very excited. Other than that, Mass Effect, the first three, that trilogy is very
Mm.
emotional because you do make your choices. People die because of you, and you feel responsible for it. It's one of the coolest games I've ever played because I remember the first time I ever played the second game, my entire crew died besides me, and I felt like shit.
Uh-huh.
That was my fault. I went in
How
unprepared, all
dare
this
you?
stuff to the final mission. I literally restarted that same game and I was like, I have to beat this game and keep every character alive. Did it, and then I went into the third game, and it's even tougher because it's the final one. So like
Mhm.
there is people who will die. So you keep all these people alive, and they really do bring you through that emotional roller coaster. Gears of War 3 has a really emotional moment too, that really ties into the rest of the game. As of lately, though, I'm like trying to see. There's not really a game that I've played this year per se that's gotten me emotional. More just like immersed. Like I just beat Starfield, that was very immersive. Tears of the Kingdom was very immersive. The new Star Wars
Are
game
you
didn't make me
supposed
emotional.
to beat Starfield that fast, or are you just insane? I have no idea, so it's a genuine
Uh,
question.
so most Bethesda games I probably would have never beaten until next year. I'm not even joking. Like
Okay.
Fallout, Skyrim, it would have been a long time till I beat it. The only reason I actually focused in on the story because a lot of my friends who'd already beaten it told me, yeah, do some side things here and there, but beat the game first. And after beating the game, 1000% see why. It's a very unique ending that the second it ends, without getting the spoilers, it's you know what a new game plus is, right, Ren?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it just, the second you beat it, it takes you into new game plus. But the way that ties into the story and what you get for beating it,
yeah.
it makes your next playthrough even better. So I'm
Alright.
like already starting another playthrough right now. And it's really good. It's really good. I really love that game. It was just such a fantastic experience. So
All right. What's next?
Lady Aaron asked, the first part of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, which is the teal mask, comes out sometime next week. Are you guys excited to play through the DLC or not? Nope. What are your hopes to get and experience from this? I don't care. And also, before then, did you successfully beat the 7-star Mewtwo raid beforehand? No, because my Switch was packed up. So,
All right. I am excited. I just want a new adventure, a new part of the story. I have not beaten that fucking Mewtwo because you can't touch it. You attack it and it doesn't lose life points. It's a super effective move. It doesn't lose life points. It attacks you with a not very effective move. You lose more than half your life points. So I don't get it. But I'm not too bothered. I already have Mewtwo's that I imported from previous games. So it could be worse. It could be worse. So I already have several Mewtwo's. I might even have a shiny Mewtwo. I'm not sure. So yeah. I want to beat it for my own selfish pride. But if I don't, I already have a Mewtwo. I already have several Mewtwo's. So yeah. All right. Next up, Lady Aaron, in honor of Ren getting to meet Damien Chazelle in person, who are some celebrities that you hope to meet in person some days that are affiliated with the movie industry? I'm going to give you the obvious answers. I'm going to tell you Christopher Nolan. I'm going to tell you Ryan Gosling. I'm going to tell you Damian Day-Lewis, Leo DiCaprio, Steven Spielberg. And should I just get on with the obvious answer, which is Margot Robbie? Because that's number one. Haley Atwell, Emilia Clarke, Sydney Sweeney, who was in Venice, by the way. She was at an Armani party, and I kept talking to people like, are you going to the Armani party? Do you know who's giving out like invites to the Armani party? Can I go to the Armani party? And I got no luck on that front. So, yeah. Zach? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is up there. Kevin Feige too.
There's lots. I kind of just let it go with the flow. Jake Gyllenhaal's up there.
Ooh, nice one.
I'm trying to think of ones he didn't say. Scorsese. Did you say Scorsese? I don't know
No,
if you
I
said
didn't.
Scorsese.
I want to meet him, but I haven't.
Denis, I would absolutely love to meet.
Yep.
Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
Those are like two up there all the way.
Chris
Bradley
Evans,
Cooper,
Captain America. Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I know people who have met Chris, and I just like every time it's like a funny story. No,
Okay.
not bad. Just like always a
fucking
funny story.
breaking my heart, man. Come on.
No. I would never say publicly like bad celebrities because there's some that I've met that I'm like, you're a fucking asshole.
You told me.
Yeah. Kumail Nanjiani, I would love to meet. I'm like looking at my Blu-rays.
Nice pull.
Yeah, that's probably a big one. The Rock and Kevin Hart, I would love because they're gonna do another film together.
I cannot fucking believe I didn't say The Rock, because he's like
Emma
number
Stone.
one boy.
Emma Stone. She's from Arizona. She was born and raised here, so that would be a big one. Tom Hardy, Tom Holland, Zendaya.
If you meet Tom Holland, you'll meet Zendaya.
Yeah. Oh, and Keanu. I'd say Keanu Reeves. It's like my last.
Oh one. Yeah. Tom Hanks is another one.
Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. I would love to meet both of them.
Why did I not say Henry Cavill? Jesus fucking.
Because you already co-starred with him.
That's true. He is my co-star.
Dude, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Like the next Toy Story.
I did say Tom Hanks. I just said Tom Hanks.
I mean, for me. Oh, Downey, Robert Downey Jr. I'd love to meet him. Yeah. So there's that.
All right. Lydia and Ren, were there any performances from the movies you saw at Venice we should definitely look out for and anticipate in the best way possible? Emma Stone, 100%. You
Glenn Powell.
you were never as impressed by Emma Stone as you will be in Poor Things. Glenn Powell, but Glenn Powell, not to take anything away from him, because it's a great performance, it's a great character, it's a great movie. But Glenn Powell is in the unique position where it's easy for you to be impressed by his performance because it's his first lead role. So he has caught our attention in Set It Up and in Top Gun Maverick and in a few other things that he's done in Everybody Wants Some, which is where he met Richard Linklater.
Devotion.
And they began to talk about this article that they both read, and they started co-writing this film together. But it's the first lead role for him, so it's all on him for him to impress you. So he impresses you, but it's an easy, like, oh, if he's going to impress me in anything, it's going to be in here. Emma Stone is fantastic. Carey Mulligan in Maestro. Bradley Cooper. Maestro as a whole is the kind of film where, like me, you might watch it and think, I like this movie, but I don't love it. The Academy is going to eat it up. It is so Academy friendly that do not be, no matter how you feel about this movie, about Maestro, do not be surprised if it gets a ton of
Hey, how
love
long was
at
it?
the
That was a
Academy
big
Awards.
part of a lot of the test screenings for that film, was the length.
Maestro?
Yeah.
I think it was either 2 hours 10 minutes or 2 hours 20 minutes. Either one.
Okay. I was just curious because the test screening cut was like 2.5, and a lot of people complained about the length. That was like the biggest
Should have been
complaint.
shorter. Should have been even shorter. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but those are like, I mean, Michael Fassbender, in great part just because he hasn't been great in a long time. But this is his movie.
I'm excited to see him in Next Goal Wins.
Same,
excited to
which
see
is
it.
going to be the surprise film at the London Film Festival, which I'm so excited for. But Michael Fassbender is one that I don't think will get enough love, but it is a movie that is so stripped down. It's all on him. Like, if he has any weaknesses as a performer, he has nowhere to hide. It is all on his shoulders. And obviously Fincher, who's directing, but you know what I mean. Other ones. Penelope Cruz in Ferrari, not because she suddenly comes in and they're like, oh, she might win Best Supporting Actress. No. But she does, in some ways, steal the movie from Adam Driver, who's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But you just don't expect Penelope Cruz to steal the movie. And she does in some ways. Carey Mulligan, 1,000% steals the movie from Bradley Cooper. And he's still fantastic. What else? Glenn Powell in Hitman. Nothing about In the Land of Saints and Sinners. Ingenue Ellis in Origin. It's very emotionally harrowing, which I will get to when I fully review that film. What else? I saw The Beast. Nothing about Hokage, which has nothing to do with Naruto, by the way. Nothing about William Friedkin's last film, Caine Mutiny Court Martial. Yeah, those are it. I would say Emma Stone, Carey Mulligan, Bradley Cooper, and a little bit of Fassbender in there. Another movie that you should check out is Bastarden, which in English, the title is The Promised Land. It's a Danish film starring Mads Mikkelsen. It's very, very good. It's very, very good. What's next, Zach? It's your turn. About Marilyn Monroe's Only House.
Mine was skipped. So over the week, we heard that Marilyn Monroe's only house that she owned and also died in LA could possibly be demolished. If you've heard of this, what are your thoughts on it? And do you hope that people can find a way to preserve this historic building and save it from getting demolished?
I didn't know about this. I'm not too invested, honestly. So yeah, I don't have.
I mean, they desecrated it because of blonde, so just get rid of it.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
it's tainted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff with Marilyn Monroe's legacy that's just been tainted ever since she passed. So it kind of just sucks
Yes.
because she was an icon. And
if she doesn't have any family members, any descendants that are living there, honestly, whoever owns the house has the right to do it whatever they want. If it was acquired by the state or by the government and they want to make it an historical institution, that's another thing. But
yeah, that would be
honestly,
my worry
not
though,
many
is that
thoughts
they
on
would
it.
want to make it into a museum. And the fact that she
Yeah,
died there is the thing that's a little bit iffy to me,
yeah,
because
but it
like
depends on
Elvis's
how you
house
do
is,
it.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
true.
just feels a bit
Yeah.
icky when someone dies and
Yeah,
they want to
it's
do that.
fair. I'm not saying that's the thing to do. I'm just saying those are the options, but then it really
Yeah.
depends on how you go about it. Lady Aaron, with the summer movie season coming to a close for the year, would you say that this year was one of the best summers for movies, in the middle, or one of the worst summers for movies? I don't know. Give me a list of all the summers for movies. Give me time to look those lists over and just to compare them. But off the top of my head, I had no idea. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty good summer.
Same.
Zach?
Same.
All right. What's next?
If you guys could create any kind of Pokemon that you like, what kind of Pokemon would you guys create? And what would it be? And what would it look like? I don't know. I can't answer that.
I have no idea. I don't have any particular ideas to create Pokemon. All I will say is I want them to create more fire water Pokemon. We only have one in 9 fucking generations. And it's a lame one that a lot of people don't have because it was very exclusive. You can't just catch it. But so give me more fire water Pokemon. All right. Lady Aaron, so Final Pokemon's episodes with Ash Ketchum in it have now been officially released for the whole world to see. If you have watched the Ash's final 11 episodes, what are your thoughts on Ash's conclusion to the Pokemon anime? I think I already answered this question when I watched back when it was released in Japan, but I didn't watch the final 11 episodes. I only watched the final episode, and it's very underwhelming. It's very forgettable. It's very fine. So I didn't waste my time rewatching it or watching any of the other ones. Zach?
I don't care.
All right. What's next?
Thoughts on Bike Riders and No One Will Save Us trailer. Starting out with this, I don't know what No One Will Save Us. I know people who have seen it, so I haven't watched the trailer, but I heard it's good. Bike Riders, that trailer's awesome. Awesome. Wish I didn't watch it, but I got suckered in and I was like, I'm going to watch it. Fuck it. And it's awesome.
I love the Bike Riders trailer. It's so
really
good. It's Jeff Nichols, who I adore, and it's coming to the London Film Festival. So expect a review in the next
is it? Good to know.
month or so.
Is it premiering
No
there? Or is it premiering somewhere else? Or has it already premiered?
It just premiered at the Telluride.
Okay, that's where it premiered at. Okay.
Yeah. We don't, unless it's like a British movie like we were talking about with Chicken Run, nothing like premieres here.
You guys just get all
everything.
The good stuff.
We get everything that has already premiered that everyone was like, this is really good. So yeah. That one is high up there for me, and All of Us Strangers. I really want to watch that movie because I'm hearing spectacular things, even though I've never seen a single film from the director, but I might in the meantime. So yeah. The No One Will Save Us trailer, I started watching it and I'm like, you know what? I want to stop. I don't want to watch anything more. But it looks good enough from what I saw. Nathan Holton, thoughts on Thanksgiving trailer? It looks all right. Looks fine. Certainly going to be tough to get through a horror performance from the lead person in that film. And it should be called Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving. That's a lazy title. Zach?
I don't care. But I will. Let me say this though. I do know someone who did see it already, and the entire audience thought it was fun. So take that as what you will.
Awesome.
I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, my friend thought he was going to see A Quiet Place Day 1 because all the questions seemed like that, and then he goes, they switched it up last minute. He goes, it got changed to Thanksgiving.
So he was gonna see.
And I guess there was some issues where the screening got. I don't know. It keeps leaking when A Quiet Place Day 1's gonna screen, and then they take it, but it did show somewhere else, and I heard good things about it. So
okay, awesome. What's next?
Andrew Seth. I recently watched Little Miss Sunshine. I really enjoyed it. I think it holds up. Have you ever seen the movie? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Never seen it.
Same. I thought
Never
we were
seen it.
gonna.
Never seen
Yeah.
it in full. Like
Yeah.
I've seen clips, I've seen moments, but I've never seen
Yeah.
the entire film from beginning to end.
Mhm.
Andrew Steve, do you watch any sports? And if so, who is your favorite player / team? I only watch professional wrestling and UFC whenever like someone I know and someone I like is fighting. If I recognize the name and I'm like, oh, I like that guy, I'm going to watch. But if not, I'm very selective. I only watch professional wrestling. WWE, AEW, New Japan, and that's it. So yeah, Zach, you watch a lot more.
Not when I was younger.
No?
I used to watch a lot of basketball. Nowadays, honestly, I'll watch like the major football games. Not even watch them really, just like come in and out. My fiance actually watches a lot more sports than I do. She watches baseball, basketball, all that shit. So I just play video games. And
So
watch
you'll
movies.
have to start doing it as well.
Yeah, I mean I do. But it's funny because the last time there was a major game going on for basketball, Legend of Zelda came out the same day. And so I was that iPad baby at the dinner table playing on my Switch. Yeah, while she was watching her game. But you know, I had stuff to do. So like what am I gonna say?
All right. What's next?
What are your thoughts on the Taylor Swift Eras concert being screened? Do you plan to watch and review it? No.
I do not give a single drop of urine about it. I'm not going to waste my time with it. I'm not going to waste a thought on it.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, Ren.
Jesus fucking Christ! Why?
The concert.
I didn't see.
Than that. It's like
I didn't see a single movie in the entirety of the Venice Film Festival that was as long as that.
It's a concert movie, though. That's why it's literally just a concert. And I asked my sister this because she's a huge Taylor Swift fan. I said, okay, I'm open to seeing this if it's like a documentary type style where it's saying a little bit more about her life on tour, stuff like that. And she goes, no, it's just a concert movie. I'm like, well, then I don't want to see it. I don't care to see it. Like,
yeah.
So I'm not learning anything.
All right. Ren, now that you have Andrew Steve, now that you have seen Poor Things and it's been getting a lot of critical acclaim, including my own, do you think it can hurt Barbie's awards chances since both movies deal with feminist themes? And do you think there is room for both of them? Yeah, there's room for both of them because they do it in completely different ways. One is very humanistic and takes the look through both. Have these veins of social commentary, but like it's hard to explain because it's Yorgos Lanthimos, so it's very him. But once you see it, you can tell how different they are.
I'm really nervous that this film's gonna be my favorite of the year. It's gonna kick Spider-Verse out.
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know that it does, but I think it's going to be up there for you. It certainly is up there for me. But no,
you thought
I think there's room for both.
Thought Hitman is.
I think Hitman. Right. Yeah. I think Hitman has that chance.
I love Richard Linklater, but I have not loved a film of his in a while.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing. I don't love him. There are films of his that I love, and I haven't seen the entirety of the Sunset Trilogy. I've only seen the first one.
I've never seen any of them.
Not Sunset Trilogy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would put Before Sunset there, but I would put Hitman right at number 2 on the Linklater ranking.
Nice.
All right, what's next?
Andrew Seif, what are some songs from Disney animated films that you find underrated? Some that come to mind for me are A Girl with Fighting For, I Have a Dream, and Lost in the Woods. I agree with Lost in the Woods.
Is 100%.
That's the ballad one, right?
That's the rock ballad.
That's the best song from Frozen 2. I will take
you know it's also underrated because it's a song they should have put up for the best original song Oscar is Show Yourself from Frozen 2 instead of Into the Unknown, because Into the Unknown is not the best song in that movie.
Sometimes they make bad choices, like the Moana one. That was awful. That choice to put that other song instead of
Which one did they put up?
They didn't put up the Bruno one. They put up the I don't even remember which one. It was so forgettable.
Oh, Encanto. You mean
Encanto?
Encanto.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Because he said Moana, and then he said they didn't put the Bruno song, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
what? So confused.
Do you know what's underrated? Jim's theme from Treasure Planet.
I'm still here. Super underrated. Also super underrated is I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules, Meg's song.
Yeah.
Strangers Like Me from Tarzan. Because the songs from Tarzan.
Frog for me.
Oh, nice. The songs from Tarzan that get the love are You'll Be in My Heart, which is an awesome song. I've sang it live in a concert. And Two Worlds. But Strangers Like Me gets a little bit forgotten. Strangers Like Me is sensational. What else?
Hawaiian Roller
I think
Coaster
that's it.
From Lilo and Stitch, I love.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, those are good ones. All right. Thoughts? Tony Movie Chappie asks, thoughts on the Rotten Tomatoes controversy? My thoughts are, ha! And those are my thoughts. Zach, I think you are a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic.
So I mean, I'm not here to defend anything because if you are taking money to give a score, that's dumb. So shame on the PR firm and shame on the critics who've done that. But I think that article is actually pretty shitty. I think Sharonda and a couple other people lay out because a lot of people just take the headline; they don't take the whole article.
Yeah,
and that PR thing is a little bit of it. Whereas they started
Sean actually put up a short.
Yes,
he also did on Twitter, but he put up a short that explains very
Sean did a lot
concisely.
Better of a job. So I'm not even gonna go watch Sean Chandler's little short on that. Do some research. I don't think it's a major.
And read the article, not just
and read the article, not just the headline, which is what literally every single person did.
Yeah, because it's a good article. It's a good article.
Mm-hmm. It is a very good article. It's just I don't think it's a controversy because, okay, like the truth is, I know people who have not taken money but who have been offered money, and they're not even Rotten Tomatoes. They just got offered money because they have a big following. One of my friends got offered $15,000 to review a film and give it a good score. And he said no.
15,000? I don't know, man.
Dude,
that's the thing. I would take the money, but I would be honest about it. I would say, hey, I took money for this.
Dude, when he showed me the contract, I fucking lost it. I started laughing so hard. I'm not going to say what movie it's about because I don't want, what
you're going to tell me after the show.
Oh, I'll tell you afterwards. I just I was so
tell me
baffled.
In the private chat.
I was so baffled.
All right. After you type that in, the next one is you read it. All right. You read the question while I read this.
Okay. Tony Movie Chappie. Right?
Yeah. I got an invite for that. I didn't get any offer for money. Otherwise, I would have taken it. But I'll be honest about it. I'll be like, hey, just so you know, I got money for this. So thumbs up.
Yeah. After One Piece live action adaptation, do you think it's possible that live action anime curse is over despite some good ones with Alita and Ghost in the Shell? I mean, I don't think there's a curse. I think it depends on the care who's making the film. Ghost in the Shell is awesome. Alita Battle Angel, people are hit or miss with that. I think it's awesome, but there is some really bad moments to that. But it's really much One Piece for me. And Ren, you haven't started it yet, right? The live action.
What do you mean I haven't started? I haven't seen it, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Dude,
I haven't started. My friend, I haven't started implies I'm going to start it.
I'm not shitting you. This is the best. This is one of my favorite Netflix shows now. I mean, and I say, I have people at my work who watch this thing that didn't even know it was based on an anime, and they're like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "It is. It's." I think you should try it. I genuinely think you should try the live action show because I know people who have watched it who didn't like the anime and they like the live action.
I don't know. I need to catch up on a lot of other stuff.
When you get the time, don't make this show fail like you did with Dark Crystal.
Don't make this show fail like all of you did with Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Well,
very true. Same producers made this show, so
Oh, okay, I didn't know
same
that.
studio, same producer, from my understanding, made this show. So
Bring Cowboy Bebop back, motherfuckers.
yeah, that show is awesome.
All right. Dominican Scott, do you trust Rotten Tomatoes now being revealed? Not sure what the question is, but if it is
back to what we just said,
the Rotten Tomatoes controversy, we've addressed it. All right, Zach, you're next.
Luis Feliciano, Ren and Zach, did you guys see What If Season 2 is officially coming this Christmas? Did you see the episode list? If so, what episode are you most excited for? Any episode ideas for Season 3? So you can start with it. I didn't see the list. I just knew it was coming out this Christmas.
I saw the list. I'm searching for it because I commented on it.
And then can you share?
There are 3 episodes. Yeah, there are 3 episodes in there that, like, just the titles, the descriptions of like what the premises are, I'm very excited for. So the one we know is coming because it was cut from season 1 is What If Gamora Killed Thanos?
That's on Tony and her on Sakaar, I think, right?
Yes, I believe so. This comes from our friend Leo Rydell. The other one is What If Captain Carter Finds the Hydra Stomper, where Captain America got frozen?
That's the one that Leo's seen, because they showed an episode at Comic-Con last year.
Oh, I didn't know that. So that's a continuation from season 1. The other one is What If the Tesseract landed in Haudenosaunee Confederacy before the colonization of America, introduction of a new hero, Kahori. I'm intrigued by this one just because, they're introducing a new hero. Then what if Hank Pym and Jenna Van Dyne fought the Red Guardian during the 80s?
That's cool.
Which is interesting. What if Yondu delivered Star-Lord to Ego? Which, fine, fair enough. What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas in Iron Man 3? This is very much going to be the Party Thor episode of the season. And then these last 3, the last 3 that I'm about to read to you are the ones that I'm most excited for. What if Wanda had grown up watching musicals instead of sitcoms? Give me it. What if Odin and Hela faced Wenwu? I want to see that. And then what if the Avengers fought Surtur? I can tell you right now, out of these final 3, what if Odin and Hela fought Wenwu? I'm very interested in seeing that.
I wonder if they got Tony Leung back.
What do you think?
I don't think they did, but it would be cool if they did. I got to be honest. Everything above those 3, I don't give a shit about. I don't care. Like, I'm actually like, season 1 was fun, and there were some episodes that were better than others, but I was like really hoping, okay, next season they're gonna go weird, wacky, like, And I'm glad that they're bringing in some Phase 4 stuff with like Wenwu and things like that, but I don't know. Like, I was kind of just expecting a little bit more, but
I agree. I mean, Happy Hogan saving Christmas, that definitely. I mean, it all depends on the execution, but in terms of ideas, it's like, that's weird, that's wacky, like that's something you should do.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know they're like what they're allowed to do and say, but those last 3, the Wenwu one sounds. I hope that's the best one. I hope that's
100%.
The Avengers one's cool too, fighting Surtur.
Were and Clancy Brown is definitely coming back because he's a renowned voice actor.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder what a set of
you read.
Is it like? I wonder if they're doing the original main line of them, or if we're going.
My guess is they're doing it in Ragnarok. So I would guess they do like the original lineup, maybe even Falcon, maybe even Bucky, like a few of the auxiliary ones. But I expect the main 6 to be there. Yeah. That's they're not even gonna acknowledge that, and you know it.
I can do the next
GWP.
One.
No, you read the last one. This is inspired by Leo's tweet, but if you were Kevin Feige, what would you do to fix the multiverse saga without rebooting it? I don't have anything else to do with the multiverse saga without rebooting it, because that's the whole thing. I think a multiverse saga works. And it's the reason why a show like Dark works. A show like Dark stood out because it's one of the very few, if not the only story that takes the concept of time travel and immediately introduces you to a story where like time travel is the problem. Time travel is bad and it creates problems, and we have to fix this problem. It's not something that should exist. It's not something that we should be able to do. And I think multiverse, the story of the multiverse saga works because the whole thing about several timelines begin to self-destruct each other and begin to create unmitigated chaos. And that's the whole point of the story. We have to stop it from happening, and we have to create this new timeline where only one universe exists. So I don't have any ideas to fix it other than to reboot it. If anything, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. So it's a kind of a cheat of an answer, but create two universes, I guess. But I don't have any other ideas. Do you, Zach?
The only thing I would say is I wish it went back to the first three phases where whether the film tied in or not, the post-credit scene always led into the next film. I wish that's only thing I wish they would be doing. Even with the shows, like there's some post-credit scenes in the first three movies or the first three phases where like it doesn't like it's so against what was in the movie, but it ties into that next thing that you're gonna go see. And I think that's why I've honestly thought that and that's the biggest problem I think a lot of people are having is they're very excited to see what the post-credit scenes is, and then you see it, and we have so many post-credit scenes without the resolution next.
Yeah.
Look at Shang-Chi.
I mean, sometimes in the first three phases, it was literally a scene from the next movie.
Exactly. And that's I feel like we need that. I feel like we need that little. That's the only thing I would do, because I feel like that's where it's getting a little bit confusing for people. Because I'm okay with there not being like, oh, this is Eternals 2, this is Shang-Chi 2, this is one. I'm okay with that, but I need you to flesh it out a little bit more. Stop making it seem so bounced around everywhere. That's the only thing. So
I agree. All right, what's next?
G. Colby asks thoughts on the Marvel shows changing schedules with Echo moving to January, Agatha's new title moving to fall next year, and Daredevil, Ironheart, and Wonder Man being delayed indefinitely.
So about Daredevil, Ironheart, and Wonder Man, my thoughts are pay your writers and actors fairly.
Yeah.
Make deals.
Yep.
About Echo and Agatha, I don't care. I don't care about these shows. I'm gonna watch them when they come out. Don't get me wrong, but should these shows exist? Am I on the camp that, I can't wait for their shows to arrive? They're going to complete the MCU hole in my heart that is shaped like Echo and No. I don't know why these shows
content. They're content to me at this point.
Yeah,
unless they can prove to me, like, when I watch it, I'm going to be like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. Like before with Loki.
I hope I'm wrong.
Loki season 1, I thought was a terrible idea. And then I watched it. I'm like, this is awesome. At first, yeah, I thought it was a waste of time. I was so over it.
All right. Chico P, I've seen Double Toasted talk about this recently, but do you guys think blind fandom is part of the reason why a lot of franchises are failing or affecting the quality, with fans not being critical enough to want a franchise they love to improve when they notice the quality has dropped and just accept what they got? Not really, because on all these franchises, especially Star Wars, I see nothing but hate for Star Wars. It's finally turning around with Ahsoka. It's finally turning around, let's be fair. But I don't see anything but complaints about Star Wars. I don't see anything but complaints about DC.
All three, Marvel, DC, Star Wars. There's complaints
but Marvel
from everywhere.
Still has a sweet spot. Marvel still has a ton of fans. DC, Star Wars, you have to search for the positives. Because I don't see anything but people complaining. Marvel, right now, does get a lot of complaints, fair enough, but you still see a lot of people praising and liking it and enjoying the ride. The other two, not at all. So I don't think that's the problem. I think blind fandom definitely exists. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
The problem, I think personally, with just to throw this out before we move forward, is all these studios believe in that one project, and then they just start making stuff without that first thing coming out. And
Yeah, that's
DC's
true.
been that way. DC makes all their films, then the next film, and they're like, oh, we got to retinker. They haven't done that lately, but and then Marvel, I don't think they've had a true. I think some of their TV shows have had a quality problem. Their movies, I think, have been fine. I think their movies have had a hit or miss here, but like in the end of the day, the problem people are having with Marvel is visual effects issues, which that's not them. That is their fault, but that's because of rushing their artists. And two, structure. What's the plan? That's what everyone wants to know. Why can't we just enjoy the fucking movie? Why can't we just enjoy this movie right now? Like
100%.
I don't need to know when Hercules is showing up. I don't need to know, like, it'll come eventually, and if it doesn't, then it wasn't important.
All right. By the way, did Thor show up in the post-credit scene of the finale of Ted Lasso?
Shut up.
Go ahead. What's next?
G. Colby asks, I've seen people making a fuss about the rumored Showtime for the Marvels possibly being the shortest MCU movie at an hour and 47 minutes or hour and 38 minutes. This is true. Without credits, when I say this is true, that's literally what the runtime is. Do you think a short runtime means a movie is probably bad or rushed, or does it depend on how people beyond it tell the story with what the runtime is? Because we've been complaining about a lot of movies being long, even too long, even with the good ones. Do you want to start with this or me?
I'll start. A movie is as good as its runtime. A movie is not good because it's long. A movie is not good because it's... Obviously, you'll have movies like, oh, you could have extended that a little bit. Oh, you could have shortened that a little bit. But it's not because a movie is short or shorter than we expect or shorter than the rest of the movies in the same franchise that it's going to suck or it's going to be better. Not going to lie. When I heard the first rumors of an hour and 37 minutes, I got like... It does seem a little short for a film that has to bring back Captain Marvel, follow up from Captain Marvel, from Secret Invasion, from Ms. Marvel, introduce Ms. Marvel to a wider audience, introduce Monica Rambeau to a wider audience. That does seem... An hour and 47, I'm mostly fine with it. But I don't think, it's going to be bad because it didn't make it over 2 hours long. Nah. I'm generally okay with that. Yeah. And maybe I'll watch it and I'm like, you could have extended that. But on principle, it's not bad because it's less than 2 hours.
I know why it's short. I know why it's short. They cut in. They cut a segment out. Yeah, they cut a segment out of the film.
They cut the musical planet out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, is that they cut that part out because in hindsight, it was just a sequence.
Okay.
But I mean, maybe we'll feel it. I mean, it could be wrong. Maybe it was a very important sequence. All I've heard is that this movie is all killer, no filler. Like it's just straight up a team up film, and that's pretty much basically what it is. So it's gonna be interesting to see because I don't think Marvel's ever really done a film like that where it's just action and that's about it. Because in a way, it's a crossover of 3 different things: Captain Marvel, WandaVision, Miss Marvel. And I guess technically Secret Invasion, as you said, so that's 4. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. GKP. Favorite movie characters / performances of the year so far for me: Bradley Cooper in Guardians 3, Margot Robbie in Barbie, RDJ in Oppenheimer, Chris Pine in D&D, Jamie Foxx in Declan Tyrone, Steinfeld in Across Spider-Verse, Rachel McAdams in There God It's Me, Margaret. Margot Robbie in Barbie, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, RDJ in Oppenheimer, Michael Fassbender in The Killer, Emma Stone in Poor Things, Glenn Powell in Hitman. Yeah, those are my favorites. Zach?
I mean, Robbie and Gosling. I pretty much agree with everything they said. I haven't seen They Clown Tyrone, so I can't really speak on that one. But I don't know. There's a lot. Downey for Oppenheimer, like he mentioned. Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. That's an excellent one. Emily Blunt, not a lot of people give her praise. She's excellent. She has one monologue in there that's absolutely fantastic. And
yeah, 100%.
but Past Lives, the entire cast of Past Lives did an excellent job. And also Harrison Ford, man, is fucking indie. Did an amazing job in Dial of Destiny.
I'm
Not enough
so
people
happy you
talk
brought him
about
up.
that, so.
Good shout.
He's
Good
excellent
shout.
in there. So
yeah. What's next?
Ricardo Salvisa for Sonic 3, the movie next year. Who would be your choice for Shadow and the cast for Maria? I have no idea for Maria, but for Shadow, John Bernthal. That's it. Done.
Who the fuck is Maria?
I think that's the Bat Lady. I could be wrong.
Isn't the Bat Lady Rouge?
No, Maria Robotnik. I don't even know if she's gonna be in it. Sorry, Rouge.
I have no idea.
I don't know about Maria, but Shadow, John Bernthal.
No idea.
Done. That's all.
Either John Bernthal or Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Momoa would be good too. Isn't he? Wait, isn't Shadow casted? I thought they casted him.
I know. Who is cast as Shadow? And why don't I know this?
Sorry, there was rumors going around that it was Jason Momoa, but it was never officially announced because I think of the strikes. Okay. Someone said though, Sam Witwer, he'd be awesome. He'd be fucking. I like that. Good. Yeah, he'd be really good. They're gonna get a main.
Sonic!
Yeah.
All right. Jigo AP, thoughts on the Boy and the Heron trailer from Hayao Miyazaki? Looks so fucking good. I cannot fucking wait. It looks like a mix of Spirited Away with the quaintness of
The Wind Rises.
My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh, or that.
Yeah.
Next. Oh, I loved it. I have a trailer reaction. I just thought it was magical. G. Colby's
also playing at LFF.
Oh. That's nice.
Yeah.
Are they showing it in IMAX? I don't know if they have IMAX theaters or not.
No, usually we don't have the IMAX screen. No. But who knows?
G. Colby, thoughts on Megan Fox and Jean-Claude Van Damme being in the new Mortal Kombat game?
They're
Fox voicing characters.
That's so no. Jean-Claude Van Damme is playing himself.
You can play as him, but
yeah, she is voicing a character. Like, she's not really a voice actress, so I'm not that excited. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I saw the video. It was really fun. Like, him playing as himself. I think his finisher, his fatality is a little bit, okay, that's fun, but yeah. What about you?
I don't care. I just come to the games for people to beat the shit out of each other, so.
That's true. All right, last one, Zach.
G. Colby, thoughts on Taylor Swift's concert movie selling out more tickets like it's a Marvel movie? I've heard it's sold more than No Way Home. I'm not shook. Taylor Swift has a huge audience. Yeah. I mean, that's about it. That's true. So I don't have any other thoughts on that. Yeah. That's the last one, though.
That's the last one. I don't have any thoughts either. Let's just see what the actual box office is at the end of its thing.
I'm going to say opening weekend, by the way, 85 million for that.
85 million. All right. All right. I don't have any predictions. I couldn't give you a prediction from the top of my head. Gun to my head, that is. And that is it for this week's return of This Week in Geek. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we cannot have a show, unfortunately. But we will be back the week after that. I would say on a semi-regular basis, because in the meantime, we will have the London Film Festival. So I'm not sure if during that we can have a show, but it's here. I have more time to record reviews and all that. So hopefully we don't have to miss a show during the festival. But I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for watching. Thank you for waiting for me. Stay tuned, because essentially from tomorrow onwards, I will have reviews every day, not only for the stuff I need to catch up on Venice, but on Monday, I am watching A Haunting in Venice. On Thursday, I am watching Dumb Money. And the week after that, I have the Expendables 4 screening. And then I have the Creator screening. A lot of reviews, a lot of videos are coming, including the Venice ranking and all that. So I hope to see you there. And until the next one, my friends, love each other and love the movies.